There's the guest house in the woods. I'm just home for lunch. Thought I'd take a little stroll up the hill there and look and see that. I heard the neighbor doing some clearing, and what do you know? He's over the line. So I may have to put up a fence up there. But, oh well. Smoking a vintage, but not that old. I'll bet this is from the 60s or 70s. Kind of a smaller custom built. I like it. Look at that wide saddle bit. Oh yeah. Smoking some Balkan Beauty from McClellan. Oh yeah. So, over lunch, I was coming back from the Wooden Boat Festival in Port Townsend, and bing! There's a check engine light. Oh! On the Fiat. I know, everybody rolls their eyes and says, yeah. So I pulled over. I reset the gas cap, which is the culprit so many times. I didn't have a code reader to see what the exact code was. You know, evaporative canister or emissions or something like that is often, apparently there's a little hole in the gas cap that feeds down to a sensor that detects gas fumes or something. I don't know. And that can go TU temporarily. And it did. I was just driving along. I wasn't doing anything crazy. So that was kind of worrisome. Oh my God, because my dealer is quite a ways away. It's a ferry ride over to Kirkland or across the Tacoma Narrows Bridge down to Tacoma for a dealer. And it's still under warranty, actually, which is pretty amazing. So I thought, I don't want to go over there. So I went over to my local auto parts store. Give them your driver's license. They loan you a reader for the diagnostic system. And it was nothing. No code. So it had reset itself. And but it hadn't taken the check engine light off. So they have a little tool in the reader to clear the code. So I did that. So I threw my first code in the Fiat. Yay. I feel initiated. Apparently that's a pretty common thing. And with all these cars, these modern cars, with sensors everywhere, what could go wrong? So it's often a sensor error or something like that. I was reading in the latest Motor Trend magazine, the Fiat, or the Alfa Romeo Giulia, the Quadrifoglio, which is the top end one. They were testing it, and they pulled off in Los Angeles, and they pulled off an off-ramp, and it just died. And they couldn't get it restarted, and the transmission was locked. They couldn't even put it into neutral. So, you know, this off-ramp is blocked on the Los Angeles freeway. So crazy things can happen with this stuff. What is an Alfa Romeo but a big Fiat? So, I mean, you go in kind of with your eyes wide open. And I had read some reviews too. I'll try and post a link to one of them. That was pretty funny. When the Abarth came out, the Abarth model, and this guy was talking with his mechanic friend, and said, "Yeah, throwing codes, it's like just part of the Fiat owner experience." So, undoubtedly it is. So I may have to get myself a code reader. So, oh, there's the cat. Kitty! Come out to say hello. She's kind of like a little dog, a little Dog with a little distance. Yes, that's where the deer sleep. Yes, that's a little deer patch there, where they like to sleep. So, yeah, some of these furs are pretty big. So, on the way back from the auto parts store, success! So I cleared the code. I feel much better. It's weird driving with a check engine light on. You know, so and honestly, they should tell you more precisely what the code is. You know, if it's an emissions evaporative canister code or whatever, it would be less than, you know, complete engine failure if you drive the car 4 miles. You know, something like that. So, it's just my thought, but got to keep the dealers in business. I think they make a lot less selling a car than they do maintaining it. So, yeah. So anyway, I stopped by this friend of mine who sold me my house originally 35 years ago. And so I took her a little peach pie. I'm trying a pie crust recipe that doesn't use eggs. So I thought it turned out pretty good. She had suggested that, actually. So I wanted her to try some, and I know she likes peach pie, she and her husband. So she said, I told her about the upcoming state fair, which is a week from today. And she said, oh, I've got some loganberries in the freezer that they had just picked and froze, so from her bush outside. So that's the kind of pie it's going to be. It's a loganberry pie. So, yeah. Does that sound good to you? I doubt it. What? Meow. What are you talking about? Meow. Yeah. Oh, just talking. Okay. So I gotta get back to it. Anyway, I threw a code. And lived through it, luckily. So I'm sure it won't be the last. So we're at the Wooden Boat Festival in Port Townsend today. May not be a whole lot of pipe smoking. Normally there would be. And this is a kind of venue where you might find other pipe smokers. But so this is kind of uptown. I'm headed down towards the festival. Schooners going by. Oh, it's very, very Port Townsend. So there go a couple of pirates.
Spark plug is a 4-cycle gas engine. I give it a little gas. And then the way you start these is you take up the top dead center mostly and give them, some say, do you spin the wheel? No, I flip it. And nothing happened. But that's okay. Because you can sit for a while, but the routine I go through. First part of this routine is I'm going to tweak the car. And so the light is one pulling something like this, and keep the hands from going stupid. Don't let your hands go stupid. Look at the use your fingers. Don't use your fingers. Yeah. Project, you always working on it. Yeah. It's really doesn't start, I'll try. If it doesn't start, I'll do what is called clearing the cylinder. Suck the gas into the cylinder. Some of it anyway.
And there's bit quick short in the dock. It's on the dock now.
And it won't go without cleaning the cylinder out. Now we're cleaning the cylinder.
I think if you just start your car.
One more time.
Now that's good.
Well, there you go.
Case, right? Everybody watching.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when he walks away, it'll start right up.
Does he need someone who's dedicated at swearing to the thing to make it go?
Obviously, the rain. We're not giving you the
Play anymore.
that I haven't played with the spark
I'll
plug.
take it.
You watch me tear the end of the part.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty safe.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, what spot you be missing? Well, if you ask me if I understand what was going on there, probably not. But I did clean the spark plug wire. Don't overrun it.
And the oil.
Yeah, oh, they.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They got it. What do you mean?
He's either over there or in here.
Who's the kid here?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh, hand out savers. Oh. Welcome, all salty sailors.
Yeah.
Step down for me. Okay. Coming up.
There's the old fire bell tower. I think water supply too, for fire protection, back in the early days. The only known tower of its kind in the United States. Townsend. downtown. Smoking an old BP Chum. Something about these, I just like them. At the Wooden Boat Festival in Port Townsend, Washington. A little bit of historic stuff. I think pipe smokers have a great appreciation usually of history and of historical stuff, and I think for a lot of people the pipe is a connection to that. A time gone by. This was the kind of crowd where there were probably a high proportion of pipe smokers. A lot of characters. Right. So I came up with some friends and they headed back a little early. It was, these kind of things are fun to do with people you know.